Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me again for another fantastic video. What I want to talk about in this video is obtaining your Florida concealed weapons license or your weapons license. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss the exact procedure. I want to highlight a couple things before I get into the meat of the video. First thing, the cost is going to be $117. $117, you pay that. Your weapons license is going to be good for 7 years. Now, this is the second best weapons license to have, right behind Utah. It's recognized by the most states. Currently, at the time of making this, it's recognized in 31 states. Okay, if you're a resident of Florida, it's going to be 35 states. So non-resident 31, resident of Florida 35 states. You combine that with your state that you live in, and you probably have somewhere around 40 states covered, meaning that they will recognize.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Today your license.
Do a very quick video on how you obtain your Florida weapons permit. Now, I've done a previous video on how to get that particular state's permit. This time, I'm going to go into a little more detail. I'm going to tell you the process I took, or the process I did, which is what you need to do. Once you get all this information together and have a completed application, then you can go ahead and mail it into the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. That's who's going to issue that permit. Now, the state of Florida is the second best weapons permit to have, right behind Utah. Okay, so a lot of states actually recognize the state of Florida. I'm not sure about the numbers because it's been increasing and decreasing as states change their laws. If you have a question about that, get with me a little bit later. Send me a message or whatever. Okay. First thing you want to do is you want to go to this website, and I'm going to include a link to this particular website in the description of the video. The Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. You need to go to that website, and once you get there, it'll give you an address, and it'll tell you where to write into. You write to them. Actually, I'm sorry, you can actually do it online, and they'll send you this packet in the mail, giving you instructions on how to complete everything and send it in. Okay, so that's what you do first. Now, inside the package, you're going to get this actual envelope here, and this is what you're going to send everything back into the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Okay, so you get a yellow envelope with all of this information in it. Okay, so let me set that to the side. Now, contained in the yellow envelope, you're going to get this book right here. This book tells you exactly what you need to do when filling out all the information to get your firearms license from the state of Florida. This book is very good, it's very detailed. So as long as you read this, comprehend, understand, and follow instructions, you should be able to do everything that I'm telling you in this video. Guys, make sure you read that book and make sure that you do everything in there. As a disclaimer, I'm not saying that I'm telling you every single thing, but I'm giving you the basic steps required to complete this application process. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to fill out this application here. Application for concealed weapons license. Now, on that particular application, it's going to ask you for things like your social security number, your residence, your city, different things about you, your sex, your eye color, hair color, date of birth, just your standard things. It's going to also ask you where you're employed at, as well as an email address. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. It's all self-explanatory. Most important part of this application is right here. Okay, it asks you all these different questions when it comes to: have you renounced your U.S. citizenship? Have you committed certain crimes, etc.? Guys, you have to be as honest as you possibly can on that document. That's very important. Law enforcement is going to look at that stuff very closely. If they found that you've lied on this, your application will be thrown in the trash, denied. You will not get that weapons license. Also, at the bottom of this, right here, you got to make sure you get this notarized. Whatever state you're in, make sure you go to a notary, have them stamp it. They have to sign it. You have to sign it in their presence. Show them your ID, driver's license, and then you're good to go. So once you're done with this part of it, this is the application, guys. Again, make sure you sign it, date it properly. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that to the side. Okay, the next thing you want to do, you have to get your fingerprints done. Okay, now you can go to your local police department, you can go to the sheriff's department, or any law enforcement agency that does this. Has to be a law enforcement agency. It can't be a FedEx or UPS store, because they do fingerprints as well. It has to be law enforcement agency. Make sure you get your fingerprints done. Make sure they're clear and they're readable. A lot of problems they have with this process is they can't read your fingerprints. Okay, the top part of this is very important. Make sure you follow the instructions. Again, going back to that book that I just mentioned right here, the instructions are inside, as well as the different codes that you need to use. Okay, so that's fingerprints. That's the second thing you want to go ahead and do. So you've done your application, you've gone and got your fingerprints done. Next thing you want to submit, guys, if you've been in the military, you want to go ahead and submit a copy of your DD-214. Okay, now that's going to serve as a record that you received proper training. Okay, if you're a normal everyday civilian, you've not served in the military or law enforcement, you have to take some sort of training that certifies you to carry a firearm and do it the proper way. Okay, so military DD-214. If you're in law enforcement, you can submit your training records. Okay, if you're neither of the two, then you need to go and have a firearms class, NRA, those type of things. Again, that's all highlighted in the book that I've been showing you over the last couple of minutes. It's all highlighted right here in that particular manual. Okay, in my case, like I had a DD-214. I've been in the military for a number of years. Put that to the side. Okay, next thing, you have to get a passport size photo. This one is about 2 by 2. Okay, 2 inches across, 2 inches vertically here. Okay, again, there are specific instructions in the book as to the size that it has to be. Okay, so I've got all that together. Last but not least, your fee. Your fee is going to be $117 as of 6/9/2011. That's when I'm making this video. $117. Let's put that to the side. Now, guys, once you got all this together, you need to put it into the folder, or correction, the envelope that was sent to you. Put it in the envelope, take it to the post office, put a stamp on it, and go ahead and mail it. Now, they say the whole process should take anywhere from a couple of weeks up to 90 days. So I'm not sure exactly when it's going to get back, but I will let you know when it does. Guys, do not mail the book that came with it. The instruction manual, you do not need to mail it. Last but not least, guys, there is another way to do this, which is much faster if you live in the state of Florida or the surrounding states. You can actually go in to one of the regional offices that do this. Those are the Highway Patrol offices, or offices run by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Community Services. You can actually go in and do all this at one time. But the key to that is you have to call a number, which will be on a website, set up an appointment. At the time of your appointment, you go in with your money order, and they're going to knock out everything at one time. That's going to be a quicker and probably a better process. Now, I tried to do that, but I didn't have the time to do it. At that time, I was coming back and forth from overseas, so I went ahead and did it this way. This may be the slower way. Probably going to take more time. So, guys, that's going to wrap up my video here. Again, this was a video on how to get a concealed weapon or firearm license from the state of Florida, the second best state to have, or the second best recognized license in the United States.